let's talk about like kind of building a business, right? Because like I'm big on this. And we've grown to about 5 million a year right now run rate. Our goal was 10 million, but with some shifts to the business, it's now 15. Um, and I think we have a clear map to get there now. It's not free of work, but I think we have a vision that we can strive for. And so it's been really fruitful for us to know that not only are you guys watching our six, right? So that this is and yes, I'm plugging your business, but at the same time, I'm plugging the concept of having somebody manage the money, right? Because it's like I remember before we ever had a CFO, we didn't really know it even existed, and our emotional state was heavily dictated by what we saw when we looked at the bank account, right? Because we'd check in and go, okay, it's bigger than yesterday. Sweet. Oh, it's 20K less than yesterday. What happened? Well, we spent it. We made a choice to spend it, right? But it's like our well-being was very much determined by what we saw every day when we looked at the bank account, which created an unhealthy relationship between us and our bank account because we were, the decisions started to look emotional rather than logical. There's times it's great to spend money. It's like, yeah, you got less money today, but in 90 days you won't, right? And so now it's a more, I would say, just a healthier relationship, right? Because it's like, I know without a shadow of my doubt, you guys are presenting us with problems. I don't have to go look for them. You guys, if there's a red flag, you guys have already brought it up, right? And that's not just on current or past events. That's hey, we were doing the annual review based on last month, and I think this month, if we don't adjust these things, if we don't lower this, if we don't raise this, we risk these consequences, right? And it's like having that kind of clarity, it's removed so many question marks from our brain that frees us to stay in our zone of genius. That I actually think that's the most valuable part of it. Because it's like, have you helped us make smart financial decisions? Sure. Has having a CFO been a profitable thing? We have certainly made more having you with us than we've spent to have you with us, right? But I think for me, the biggest point of leverage is the release of not necessarily responsibility, but the release of bandwidth that it takes from our brains to get back to focusing on stuff that matters. Because I remember before I had a CFO, dude, I would stress about taxes, even outside of tax season. I would stress about money every day. I would say, and it's not even that I didn't have it. I was just scared. I didn't know how long am I going to have it? What's the future look like? I don't know. There's just all these question marks. And that to me was huge. It's just lifting off the burden of not knowing,
And for me, that's, like, I think you hit the nail. Right? And it's an interesting problem if you actually look at, selfishly, like on our side of client acquisition, how do you explain what it is that we do? And what I found is, going and explaining the peace of mind part is really the best way to do it. Because here's the thing. If you're running a business and you're selling services, selling people, right? Like, oh, I'm running a closer business. It's really easy to tie the work that I'm doing to money directly. If you hire a marketing consultant, it's really easy to tie the work they're doing to money. When it comes to finance, it's very hard to tie what we do to money, right? There's this ethereal thing because we can clear the bandwidth off your plate, like, in terms of worrying about money all day. But if you don't do anything with it,
sure,
and you spend money and you haven't actually turned revenue in there. So there is that part where, we're not going to bring you all the way to the finish line, right? But what we can at least do is take off all the stuff on your plate so that you can focus on what matters. And if you're a business owner, the best, like at scale, like obviously you're probably stuck in the day-to-day, but the best thing as a business owner down the road is to focus on what are these big, 10xing, 100xing ideas that you can do in your business to really propel it into the future, to propel it forward versus, if you spend 10 hours working on your taxes, those 10 hours are gone. Like, you spent 10 hours, it's not compounding, right? But if you spend 10 hours thinking about this new high level, offer that you're going to be putting out for your business or service or complete restructuring, as you continue to refine that, once you lock that in, that service is going to add more revenue into your business. Right. More revenue in your business is going to have more team members. Those more new team members, if you've done a good job, are going to also create new ideas and bring more revenue into your business. So then your efforts are compounding at that point. Whereas if you're stuck, your business is not finance and taxes. That's my business, right? But if you're thinking about it, worrying about it, you're foregoing the compounding value that you'll get, working on your business to throw one-off work on your taxes.
Which essentially is neglecting the exponential to embrace the linear.
100%. That's exactly right. And that's what we see. And it's a huge struggle, like as small business owners. I see it all the time, just delegate trusting important things, because getting your tax filed, it is important, right? But having it really just comes down to having a partner that you can truly trust. And I'd say more often than not, prospects, clients that we speak to come in and like, they're like, I don't know if my last guy did it right. He was really unresponsive to me. Like
I'd imagine that's most of the times. I'd imagine that because like people are looking at the finances in a very compartmentalized fashion, right?
So it absolutely blows my mind, just how disjointed the experience is too with most financial people. And, so my wife is director of ops inside of our business. So I'm lucky enough to have a relationship where, my brain doesn't turn off from business. So it's very good that I found someone who is willing to listen and enjoys talking about it as much as I do.
Yeah, you got the Alex and Layla Hormozy relationship. That's awesome.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I've recently went down. I've told you guys this before, the Hormozy kick, and I'm just like,
yeah,
pretty cool to see a lot of the similarities there. I mean, again, my
that's legit.
My goal one day is for him to view me as like a threat to his revenue stream. We'll see if that. Or a partner. We'll see.
Yeah, you'll probably be a partner. Honestly, I see more opportunity than I do conflict.